Kaelion. The scent of fear clung to the walls of the council room like smoke after a fire. It was thick, heavy and satisfying. I sat at the head of the long wooden table, fingers steepled under my chin, as my pack members fidgeted in their seats, their eyes darting nervously. None of them dared meet my gaze. Good. They were learning. Explain, I growled, my voice low but deadly enough to make even the most seasoned warriors flinch. My gamma Dax swallowed hard. Alpha, during the incident with Seraphina, there was an escape attempt from the prisoners we captured in the last raid. I arched a brow. And Jareth hesitated before clearing his throat. They were desperate. The guards failed. I finished for him, my voice dripping with disdain. I let the word settle, enjoying the way tension tightened the air. Kill them all. A ripple of unease passed through the room, but no one dared to question me. I leaned back in my chair watching them, their fear a quiet symphony. And since you all failed to keep an eye on them, you'll share the consequences. 6 months at the border. The younger guards paled but no one spoke. They knew better. Dismissed. They scrambled out like rats and I watched them go satisfied. Fear was a better motivator than loyalty. Just as I was about to leave, the heavy oak doors creaked open, and Dax stepped into the room. His face was grim, his shoulders squared as if bracing for a storm. I was already annoyed by his presence. If he had more bad news, he needed to spit it out fast before my patience wore thin. What now? I asked, irritated. He shifted uncomfortably. That was enough to put me on edge. Spit it out, Dax, I snapped. He swallowed hard before finally muttering, It's Seraphina. She tried to escape. A low chuckle rumbled from my chest, but there was no humor in it. Of course she did. I leaned back in my chair, fingers drumming against the wooden armrest. Predictable. She had done exactly what I expected. I told the guards to ease up around her at the hospital. Let her think she had a chance. Let her believe we were stupid enough to let our guard down. She had seen an opening and run, just like the prisoners I had executed minutes ago. My jaw clenched at the thought. I had slaughtered those men without hesitation, yet here I was discussing her as if she were different. Because she was. Dax was still standing there, silent. Annoying. There's more, isn't there? I said, my voice deceptively calm.
Dax flinched.
He shifted his weight, lips pressing into a thin line. I was on my feet before I realized it, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. I don't have all day, Dax. Speak. His throat bobbed as he swallowed. She's heading south toward rogue territory. Silence. A slow, dangerous heat spread through my chest. My fingers curled into fists. She was a fool. A reckless, stubborn fool. And I was furious. I had let her run, knowing I would catch her. But rogue territory? That changed everything. Those savages wouldn't just hurt her. They would rip her apart piece by piece and I wasn't about to let that happen. The air in the room grew suffocating.
Dax shifted uneasily.
He knew better than to speak now. I exhaled sharply, forcing my hands to relax. When I spoke, my voice was ice. Get the car ready, I ordered, my voice a low growl. We're leaving now. Dax moved immediately. I rolled my shoulders, trying to dispel the burning frustration coiling inside me. She was testing me. Again. Fine. Let's see how far she got before I dragged her right back where she belonged. Seraphina's POV. The cold winter air cut through the fabric of my clothes as I ran, pushing my legs harder. The pounding of my heart matched the rhythm of my footsteps. I had made it out, finally free. The guards had relaxed, believing I was nothing more than a caged animal too broken to fight back. They'd let their guard down while I feigned weakness. The moment I sensed their carelessness, I slipped away. I hadn't expected it to be this easy. The hospital had been my prison for days, but when they relaxed their vigilance, I was ready. Now my destination was clear, across the river into the rogue territory where no one could touch me. Or so I thought. As I reached the edge of Kaelion's land, the river before me seemed to grow wider, more menacing. The cold waters reminded me of my past, of my father's pack, of the Luna's cruelty. Memories flooded back, the mistreatment, the humiliation, and my calm shattered. My breath hitched, the image of the past flashing through my mind. It was too much. I wanted to run farther, farther from everything, but my body betrayed me, freezing in place. Memories clawed at my mind. My father's pack. The freezing water. The way Luna had thrown me into the river, laughing as I struggled. The icy grip of the current pulling me under. The taste of blood in my mouth. A twig snapped behind me. Before I could react, a strong hand gripped my wrist, yanking me back. My body slammed against a tree, the rough bark biting into my skin. A gasp tore from my throat as the familiar scent of cedar and dominance surrounded me. Kaelion. His golden eyes gleamed in the darkness, piercing through me like a blade. His chest rose and fell steadily, not even winded from chasing me. I, on the other hand, could barely breathe. "You think this little escape was enough to get away?" he growled, his breath hot against my ear. His fingers dug into my skin, and I tried to twist free, but he held me firm, his presence suffocating. "You were foolish to think I wouldn't follow," Kaelion continued, his voice dark with amusement. "Did you honestly think you could get away that easily?" I gritted my teeth, refusing to show weakness, but my pulse was erratic. "You really thought I wouldn't catch you?" His voice was low, amused. A hunter toying with his prey. I struggled, but his grip tightened, pinning me against the rough bark. His other hand rested on my hip, possessive and unyielding. "Let me go," I hissed, glaring up at him. Kaelion chuckled, his breath ghosting against my cheek. "You think my previous leniency meant you could escape? How naive." I clenched my teeth, refusing to let him see my fear. "I'd rather die in rogue territory than stay with you." His smirk deepened. "Would you?" His voice was mocking, but something darker lurked beneath it. A warning. "You think you can handle this?" Kaelion leaned closer, his lips brushing the delicate skin of my neck. He inhaled deeply, as though savoring my scent. "I can smell it, Seraphina. Your arousal. It's almost irresistible." My body trembled, not with fear, but with the raw intensity of his words, of his touch. The air shifted between us, thick with tension. That's when I noticed it. His nostrils flaring slightly, his pupils dilating. My body stiffened as I realized what he was reacting to. "No. No. No. No." His smirk widened as he leaned in, his nose trailing along my jawline. "I could smell you back at the house, Seraphina," he murmured. "Even now, after running for your life. Your body betrays you. Your scent. It's hard to ignore." I clenched my fists, trying to suppress the overwhelming urge to give in to the heat building inside me. My wolf too was reacting. She was growling, fighting for control, for dominance, but I couldn't let her out. I wouldn't. Heat flooded my cheeks and I turned my face away, mortified. "You're disgusting." Kaelion chuckled, his grip on my waist tightening. "Am I? Or are you just afraid of what you feel?" "I was. Goddess, I was." My wolf stirred once again, reacting to his proximity. I fought her down, gritting my teeth as she pushed against my control. "No. Not now. Not ever." Kaelion's wolf wasn't any better. I could feel the power radiating from him, his muscles tensing as if holding himself back. His fingers trailed up my arm, his touch slow, deliberate. "Your scent," he breathed, his lips grazing the shell of my ear. "It's driving me insane." I swallowed hard, every instinct screaming at me to run, to fight, to do something. But my body was betraying me in the worst way possible. His lips brushed against my neck, right where my gland was. A shudder ran down my spine. Then his tongue. A slow, deliberate lick against my skin. A strangled noise left my throat. My wolf clawed at me, desperate to rise, to meet his dominance with our own. No, I couldn't let her out. I had spent years keeping her hidden. Letting her loose now would be a mistake. A deadly one. I squeezed my eyes shut, gripping onto my last shred of control. I couldn't. I wouldn't. Then Kaelion moved his hand lower, just slightly. My wolf snapped. Before I could stop her, power surged through me. My muscles tensed and a snarl ripped from my throat. Kaelion's eyes widened just as my fist connected with his jaw. The crack echoed through the cold night air. His head snapped to the side, his grip on me loosening for just a second. I shoved him back, chest heaving, my vision tinted red. Kaelion slowly turned back to me, a dark chuckle escaping his lips as he touched his bruised jaw. His golden eyes burned with something wild. Serafina's POV. I gasped for breath, my chest heaved. Not from what I just did or the effort of running, but from the aftershocks of the panic attack that gripped me. My body trembled violently, each shake a fight for control. I gasped for air, desperate, but my lungs betrayed me. His grip tightened and I struggled against him, weak and helpless. Let me go. Around us, the guards remained motionless, not out of mere surprise but fear. Fear of what Kaelion would do. Fear of the defiance I had dared to show. He was a leader who commanded absolute obedience, a man few had ever seen challenged, yet I had done so. Kaelion's jaw tightened, a bruise already forming from my strike, but his smirk never faltered. If anything, it deepened. His golden eyes glowed with dark amusement, like a predator entertained by its prey's feeble attempts to fight back. The stillness shattered as a figure stepped forward from the shadows, a woman in warrior's garb identical in style to Dax's. Her attire was a perfect blend of function and ferocity. The hardened leather armor fitted to her form, a sword strapped to her side. There was no mistaking the sharpness in her gaze or the way she moved with purpose. She was no stranger to conflict, no mere bystander. Her voice cut through the silence like a blade. She struck you, Alpha, she spat, her eyes burning with an unrelenting fury. This is treason. She should be punished. Killed. My breath hitched. Kaelion's gaze flicked to her, his amusement vanishing, replaced by something unreadable. The air seemed to grow heavier as the guards tensed, expecting Kaelion to act. Instead, Kaelion lifted a hand, silencing them all with a single motion. No, he said, his voice calm but firm. She will not die. Kira's face twisted in disbelief. You're protecting her? She hissed, stepping forward with a defiant sneer. She's a weak, useless thing. A danger to the pack. Kaelion moved without hesitation, pulling me closer to his chest, shielding me from her harsh words. His golden eyes locked onto Kira with a quiet, deadly warning. She is mine, he said, voice low and final. And no one touches her but me. Kira flinched, her lips parting in shock. You what? Kaelion took a step toward, his aura growing colder. You need to learn some fucking respect, Kira, he said, his voice hardened. Get hold of yourself. If you harm her by any means, one single touch on her without my permission. He paused, squeezing out the final sentence. You'll be dead. A shiver ran through Kira's body, but she didn't challenge him. She knew the consequences. The guards too frozen. Kaelion's cold gaze swept over the others. As for all of you, Serafina is mine. His eyes burned with warning. Touch her, and you will answer to me. I could feel the heat of his body against mine, the raw power radiating from him, and I wanted to recoil, to fight him. But I was trapped. I couldn't escape. Not with the way his grip held me so tightly, his strength seeming to burn through me. Dean's sister, Kira, I remembered her name, shot me a venomous glare before she turned away, her anger simmering but carefully held in check. Kaelion didn't release me, though. Instead, he leaned in close, his lips brushing my ear as he spoke low enough that only I could hear. You're going to regret this, Serafina. I'll make sure you do. The words sent a shiver through me, and I turned my head slightly to glance up at him. His golden eyes were still filled with that dangerous amusement, like a predator toying with its prey. But there was something else there too. A dark, possessive hunger that I couldn't ignore. It made my heart race faster despite myself. Before I could respond, Kaelion pulled away, his grip loosening slightly but still enough to keep me within his reach. He gave a sharp nod toward one of the guards. Put her in the cell, he commanded. Kira will be her guard. She stays there until I decide otherwise. The guard nodded immediately, not daring to question him. The others lingered for a moment, casting glances in my direction, unsure of how to act under Kaelion's intense gaze. I tried to pull away, desperate to break free, but Kaelion's grip tightened, his fingers like iron around my wrist. The space between us was gone, his chest pressed against my back, and his warmth seeped into my skin. His breath was hot against my ear, sending a shiver down my spine. You think you can escape me? His voice was low, edged with the raw authority of an alpha. You belong to me, Serafina. No matter how much you struggle, you will never be free of me. You're my deal, my personal thing. My breath hitched, my heart pounding. As his presence pressed into me, I felt my body stiffen, betraying me in ways I couldn't control. There was no indifference in me. Every inch of my skin seemed to burn where his body met mine. It was as if I could feel the pulse of his power seep through me, and despite my desire to break free, I couldn't ignore the magnetic pull between us. My breath hitched, my heart pounding. As his presence pressed into me, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe without him knowing. Every inch of my skin seemed to burn where his body met mine. It was as if I could feel the pulse of his power seep through me. Despite my desire to break free, I couldn't ignore the magnetic pull between us. I clenched my fists, my blood boiling in my veins. No, I told myself, I can't let him have this much power over me. But deep down I knew he was right. For now I was trapped, and the more I fought him, the tighter his hold would become.